Are you struggling with chunking your irons, taking a big divot out, and you're not sure what to do? In this video, I'm going to show you what you're doing wrong and how you can improve it. Here we go. So, number one, so usually when people are hitting behind the golf ball, which we like to say fat, there's a couple different reasons that I'm going to go over in this video. Now, firstly, I want to explain low point control. The low point of your golf swing is the lowest point in the swing where your club ends up going into the ground and then coming up. It's called the lowest point in the arc of the swing, right? If I let this club go and I just let it swing freely, the lowest point was around the middle, okay? For your irons, we're gonna want our lowest point to be just in front of the golf ball. So we're able to hit the ball on a descending angle, take some ground out, and then come through, right? If we have our low point behind the golf ball, which is what's most common when you chunk the golf ball, what will happen is you'll end up chunking the ball, okay? That ball got chunked, it still went, but it wasn't what we were looking for, okay? Again, if I can show you in real time, our low point behind the golf ball would look something like that, okay? Where we chunk the golf ball, we hit behind it, okay? What I want to see instead is you having your low point in front of the golf ball. What that will mean, this is only for your irons and your wedges. For your driver, it's completely different, and we went over that in another separate video. For your irons, you're going to want to hit ball first and ground after. So what that will look like is like this, okay? Back and through all the way to your finish. Now, if you look at where the ball was in comparison to this divot, my ball was right here. My divot is right here. So that means that I hit the ball first and I got a divot after. That is what we are looking for, okay? Now, number two, the thing that causes a lot of fat shots as well is your wrist angles, okay? What will happen is if you're too flexed here on the downswing or you're scooping, it can lead to a ton of inconsistent shots. So if you're too much scooping, oh, I hit behind the golf ball, I hit a fat shot, right? The ball was right here, this was where my divot was. That's not what we're looking for. Again, I'll do the same thing, right? I'm too flexed now. What will happen is I'll again hit behind the golf ball, right? My golf ball was here, this was the divot behind, okay? What we're not gonna wanna do is where our hands are way in front of our lead thigh. We're not gonna want our hands either behind this lead thigh either. We're gonna want them to be exactly in line with impact. So at impact, my hands are right on this lead thigh, and then you can turn through. Something that I like to do that helps this out tremendously is putting my hands there to start. So here, right? So instead of my hands being equal, now I'm moving them towards my lead thigh. So now they're at my lead thigh here. Now at impact, it's really easy to get my hands back in that position. But if they're straight, it's hard for me to now go back to shaft lean. It's a lot easier for me to start scooping, okay? So what I'm gonna wanna see is your hands starting a little forward, coming up and through, okay? Show you guys that one more time. What I'm gonna wanna see is your hands now starting forward here with a little bit of forward shaft lean. So now you're able to just come up and through the golf ball efficiently to get a good golf ball flight like that, okay? Now, the last thing I see with people who fat the golf ball very, very often is they bring their hands down towards the golf ball, right? When you beeline your hands towards the golf ball, what will happen is you won't hit the ball effectively. That ended up being a good strike. I'll show you guys one more time. So remember where the ball is here. If I beeline my hands towards the golf ball, the golf ball was here, my divot was back here. All I'm using in that swing there is my hands, right? You can see how dirty my club face has gotten. What I'm gonna wanna do instead is make sure that I'm swinging through the golf ball and using my body effectively. This isn't just an arm swing, it's a full body swing. Okay, we're going back, we're engaging our hips, and we're turning. We're not just going like this, okay? That will cause, again, a ton of inconsistencies. So what I want to see is you coming back, pressure, turn, and now again I'm in this perfect position, hands with the lead thigh, and then we can come all the way through. What something like this would look like if I put everything together would be something like this, okay? Something like that is perfect. We have a good ball flight, little baby draw, right down the center of the fairway. Now to go over all three of these things again. Number one, if you're trying to stop hitting fat shots, it would be your low point, okay? So if you're not trying to hit fat shots, I have to explain low point control to you first. So if I let this club swing like a pendulum here, the lowest point in this arc will be right at the bottom here, okay? Right at the bottom, that'll be the lowest point. Then it moves up and then up and through. We're gonna want this lowest point to be just in front of the golf ball. Why? We're gonna want it so that we can hit the golf ball first and then the ground after for a good solid contact. If I hit the ground before, my lowest point of the golf swing is before, something that looks like this, right? Divots back here. What that means is you end up hitting a fat shot. We don't want that. We want our low point to be in front of the golf ball. A couple things we can do for this. Keeping our head and our chest on top of the golf ball and then slightly in front at impact. So if our head and our chest are slightly in front of the golf ball at impact, that's where our center of gravity is. That will be the lowest point in our arc of the swing. So if we focus on that, what we'll get is we'll get a divot after the golf ball. Okay? Again, focus on that low point after the golf ball. If we focus on those things with the low point, we should achieve a divot after the golf ball. Something just like that. Okay? Now, the second thing I see is people being too handsy. When they come down and they take a beeline to the golf ball with their hands, that'll lead to that fat shot, right? That ball might have went, but I definitely hit behind the golf ball, right? What I'm gonna wanna do instead is focus on not scooping the golf ball up. We're not trying to help the ball up here. It'll come up naturally. And that's what the whole point of this club is, and the loft of the club, or the angle of the club, okay? So what we're gonna wanna do instead is focus on coming back and coming down using our hips here and then to impact, right? If we can come down with our hips at impact, we'll have a much better chance of hitting the ball first instead of just coming down with our hands, as we have a lot less control. So if I put those things together, for just my hands, instead using more body, I have my divot here after the golf ball. If you guys like this type of content, click the subscribe link down below here, and my new recent upload is going to be right here. Click the link down below also if you're looking to apply for one-on-one coaching to see if we are the right fit. I'll see you guys in the next one.